So the goal for today is to set up an Apache web server. I don't have a web server, so I'm simply going inside my VM. SVS is nothing but sudo version start. Both is the name of my VM. I'm going to SSH into it. I prefer to use C instead of clear, so I'm just going to create a temporary alias so that I can use it here. Now, in order to install Apache, we first need to update our index list, and sudo update is the command. And if you're not a root user, probably have to type in your password. Okay, so spelling mistake, no issues. And this will update the list of all the repositories from where we can download different packages. It is going to take a couple of seconds, and after this, we just need to do sudo apt install Apache2. Since you can see, I already have Apache2 installed. I don't need to do this, but if you need to, then type install Apache2 apt install Apache2. It doesn't make any difference in my case, but if you don't have the package, it will install it. Now let's check our Apache2 service status, whether it's active, it's enabled. So systemctl is what we use, and it's active, and enable basically means it starts at the boot up. And now I want to see if my web server is working. So we're just going to copy our IP address and put it in the browser. IP A is a command in case you don't know your IP address. Now I'm going to put it the IP address in the browser, and it will show us the default page for Apache. Right. So this is the default page for Apache. That means the web server is working. Okay. Now I'm going to disable this page because I want to use the default page whenever I go to this IP address. So to disable it, we are going to use this command. A2 is Apache2. DIS is disabled for site, and this default.config contains all the detail. But in order to enable these config changes, we have to reload the Apache. So systemctl reload Apache2 works. This is not going to make much difference here, but if you're on web server, you might want to take care of the firewall. And UFW, that is our uncomplicated firewall, I believe. I'm not sure. As you can see in the status, it allows the TCP, which is 80 port 80 and port 22, that is HTTP and SSH respectively. So on these two ports, traffic is allowed, but we would also want to allow Apache full and open SSH because we want people to SSH into the server or our server. Right, so this is allowed, and now we're going to enable it. So UFW enable is the command. Okay, this does not break the SSH. Good. So again, we check the status. Yep. Port 80 is allowed, 22 is allowed, Apache full open SSH, both is allowed, and V6 basically is IPv6, so it also allows IPv4 and IPv6. So now we want to make some changes to our index.html file in order for our default web page to not look like, Apache. You can simply make changes to the index.html file if it's nothing complicated. But let's say you have a domain like example.com, you want to create certain folders and keep it more organized. So we will create this example.com folder. Inside the example.com, we're going to create folders for logs and the HTML5, like the public HTML, and for our backup as well. So let's create this bunch of folders. Public HTML is there. Now for log, yes, sudo mkdir backups. Mkdir basically it creates the folders. Okay, and once these folders are created, we also need to make sure that our these new changes are like configured. So we are going to go to our SC directory, which contains all the configuration files. And for Apache, we're going inside the site available. Yeah, we are going inside the site available folder. And here we are going to create a config file for our example.com domain, since we do not have any config file for this. And we want some config file so that our machine understand, oh, this is what I should do with my server. And here we are going to add a bunch of rules like allow traffic on port 80 and other stuff. Make sure you change all these settings based on your own preferences or your own folders and your server name. This is whatever I've written in the config file for example.com is not going to work. So simply let's enable this config file, that is example.com, and then we can check if it worked or not. Of course, reload Apache2 as well for this configuration file to be enabled. Now let's go to our web browser again, reload the site. We will see some directory pattern. Yes, correct. So you can see, yeah, we can see that since we have not created an HTML file inside our example.com public HTML, so we're not really going to see any other page. But of course, it confirms that a certain sort of like directory structure has been created. And now, if we want, we can create a simple HTML page inside for our domain. So we will go back into war www slash html, and here from here we will move to example.com, and then in example.com we will go to our public html. I mean, we want to store in a particular structure, so we are going to put it inside it, and now we can create an index .html file. We're going to make it a simple index file. It's not going to be a beautiful front end file. It simple HTML file. Close the bracket. Welcome to this page. Yeah, this much is enough. Like, this much is enough to make sure that it is working. Now, when we reload our web server page, we should see welcome to this page if it worked. Right, so yes, this is working. So this is the face. As you can see, it's not secure, so you need to add an SSL certificate, and this is all you need to do for your web server to work and link it. But this might not work on the external IP, uh, because your server, like the ISP, might be like blocking something, or like other firewall outside the server might be blocking something. So take care of that.